We are here, everybody. Welcome to episode 200. Episode 200, day 200. This is from Mai, who's one of our viewers here. Mai, thank you. I got your package. You're amazing. I appreciate you. Here's a little thing from episode 100 from Grandma Goody. I just cannot... How did we get here? How did we get here? Seriously. This is so crazy. First of all, I thank you for being here today with me live, or if you're watching the replay. Appreciate you for taking time out to watch. You don't have to stick around the whole time, but we're going to be here for 2 whole hours. We have some special guests, some special prizes, some special games. We're going to play our favorite, Brand Standing. I owe you a couple watch your mouths because I've not done what I said I was going to do a couple times. And I'm just... This is unreal. This is so unreal. I just 200 days. I think it was March 11th or something. I don't even know. I don't remember the number. We started, and you know, it was just going to be a day. The day turned into a week. The week turned into a month. The month turned into 100 days, and then here we are, another 100 days consecutively. And it's like, how can I stop now? You know, like, we're gonna go for a year. We know this, right? I'll probably go live on Christmas for a little bit, maybe make it a little bit shorter. But I found out that day 300 is in fact on January 11th, I think, and it's just mind-blowing. It's just absolutely just, you guys, just thank you so much for all the support. Today's pretty random, but it's gonna be 2 hours, special guests, fun prizes, giveaways, all that fun stuff. But welcome in, everybody. This is insane. Thank you all for showing up. We got a big room. We're already halfway to 100 likes. If you want to hit that like button, do that. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Make sure you do. And thank you for the support. This is crazy. We're going to talk about what has happened over the past couple 100 days. And first, let's play the intro. Here we go.
This is the
Thank you. So that was from Dawn, by the way. Dawn, I saw that was your drawing. Thank you so much for the support for day 200. Super dope. Who else do we have here? We got Destiny Show. Thank you for everything you do, brother. I love you. I love you too, and I'm grateful for you every day. You are an incredible human being, and I'm honored to call you my friend and mentor. Hashtag. Bruh. That's what I'm talking about. So dope. Lost the music, but love the graphic. Did I lose the music? Oh, when I put the graphic in? Ah, okay, I see what happened. Anyway, all good. Let's play it again in the background anyway. I haven't played the instrumental version in so long. But anyway, that was Dawn's drawing. Thank you so much, Dawn, for taking the time to do that. Thank you so much to Mai for day 200 here. This is just incredible. She even gave me some post-it notes. I don't know if you can see this, y'all, but check out these post-it notes. Boom! You know my love language. My love language is Back to the Future. Also, for those of you who commented yesterday about the sound, hopefully it's a little bit better today. I figured out why there was so much hissing. And as you might know, as we've talked about microphones and equipment before, shotgun microphones pick up a line of sound sort of like coming right out the microphone, right? Well, I had the mic pointing literally down from above, hitting my computer, passing over the computer, and then coming to me. So now I have it pointed up and away from me. So it should be a little bit better. Michelle, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as well, Michelle. Thank you so much for the super chat. My friends, you don't need to pay anything. You don't need to do nothing but show up and just enjoy. But any support, obviously, always appreciated. And again, we're in a pandemic right now. Keep your stuff. I'm here to support you. John Michael Dornoff, wow. Congrats on 200 episodes. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, everybody. I could say thank you for literally 2 hours straight, but let's talk a little bit. Let me sit down, actually. This is just kind of an insane ride this has been. You know, a lot has happened over the past 200 days. We obviously are still... Sue, Thank you. Congrats on 200. You're an inspiration. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you. I appreciate you. We're going to have, in the next round of 100 for all the members, some brand new emojis popping up. I got some new extra slots now, so you'll see some new emojis probably starting tomorrow or sometime midweek. So I'm stoked on that. So the last couple hundred days have been pretty amazing. But also, we've gone through, as just a nation, as a world, even more challenges. I'm thinking of a lot of things like the fires that have been happening in California and literally being burnt to a crisp in some places. Thankfully, my home is safe. We're about 60 miles from the nearest fire, but still, I feel terrible, and I hope that everybody is safe. We're still in a heat wave over here. We have what's called Santa Ana winds. When the winds change from coming from the ocean and they're nice and cool, they switch up and they come from instead the east where it's nice and warm. And although it can be a warm welcome at times, sometimes it's a little bit too hot, especially with dry weather over here. I'm thinking of a lot of the things that have been happening more politically, and when it comes to just justice, we don't need to get into those details, but my hearts and prayers to those affected, and also just please stand up for what you believe in. I think that stuff is not going to go away anytime soon, and obviously coming into November, we have the election here in the U.S., and there's just been even more developments around that. And I remember watching a bit of the debate, and I just had to stop because I just couldn't even understand what was going on. And so I'm grateful for you, because no matter what happens, no matter what crazy happens out there, I know that I can wake up every morning and see you and be here. And even if you don't come in every day, I know some of you have had other things to do. I mean, it was a lot easier when we first started out because everybody was in lockdown. And now as we've started to get back into, the outside world a little bit, I know some of you have not been able to join us as much as before, but just you being here, you watching this right now, it's still meaningful to me. And just the group in whole, the core team, you are amazing. You inspire me to keep getting up. You inspire me to keep trying new things and testing. We've had some setbacks technically. I mean, even last week, my computer completely messed up. Chona, welcome. Thank you so much for joining Team Flynn Platinum. But honestly, you make the world a better place. I'm just the person who's kind of facilitating this space for us to come together. And I don't know, it's been 12 years of online business, and just for whatever reason, we seem to always attract the right kind of people. There's a lot of nasty people out there. There's a lot of trolls and people who try to take other people down. We live in what we call this world of crabs, right? We're in a bucket of crabs. If you ever take an actual bucket of crabs, you never have to worry about any of them crawling out, because as soon as one tries to crawl out, another one will sort of come and pinch it and pull it back down. And my goal is to have this bucket here where if you're trying to crawl out, if you're trying to get somewhere where you've never been before, we're going to lift you up, right? That's what we're here for. We're not a bucket of crabs. We're a bucket of, what are we a bucket of? I don't know. We're just here to support each other. And I truly am amazed by that. So thank you. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Indeed. Now, we have some special guests on the show today. We did this last time. We had a special guest on, a special surprise guest. Might you have any guesses who these people might be? We have a few coming in. It's not going to be like episode 100. I'm going to save the one where we literally speak to as many of you as possible and bring you on in probably the year episode. But I'm going to do that more often. I said that last time too. And we've had a few more guests, but I want to do this more. And of course, Ecamm here, the live streaming platform that I'm using right now to stream onto YouTube, is in fact an amazing tool now for pulling in interviews. In fact, there has been some developments technically from Ecamm that allows me to share a link and then allow a person to come in versus me having to screen share or do any of these wacky things. It's becoming even easier. So I'd love to have many of you on even before day 365, but we'll do more of that later. A bucket of supportive seagulls. I don't know if seagulls, I was at the beach last week and just there was this couple who left their towel and their stuff to go in the water on the sand, and they were just bombarded. Their stuff was like seagulls came and opened their picnic basket, took out sandwiches and left. Like it was that bad, and we were all trying to sort of like swish them away, and then they weren't leaving at all. But Elon Musk, hey, a man can dream, right, Steven? A man can dream for sure. That would be dope. Okay. I'm looking at the guesses here. I like where y'all are headed. Let's see. Just some big shout outs to some of you, right? So Tondalea, welcome. Thank you so much for the comments. Destiny Show, sharing a little bit of a DeLorean. We don't get the emojis showing up here on Ecamm, but they are showing up on YouTube. Is Ecamm going to be available for PC? Likely no. There is a PC equivalent that I'd recommend checking out called StreamYard, which is pretty cool. Congrats, says Chris Murphy. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, my friend. Every time I think of you, I think of Chewbacca and the ridiculous sounds that we once made together. What it do, Ern? Good to see you here. I miss you, my friend. Hope all is well, and happy birthday to your pops. Just Samson in the house, Dawn, Rich, AV, Castle Life, Romer, Xenia, Luria. Cool. So, we have some games that we're going to play. In fact, we're going to play one of them in about 3 minutes. It's our favorite here on the show called Brand Standing. And instead of the normal way that we're going to play, for those of you who might not know, Brand Standing is this game where you have to build a business, pitch, and then you win. We play the build the business part. Essentially, we just come up with a name. And what happens is you pick from a pile of demographic cards and a pile of industry cards. So it might be like a bookstore for vampires or a gym for, people who can't spell or whatever, right? And then you kind of come up with a brand name and we crowdsource fun names from you and we shout out the good ones and just kind of ones that catch my attention. And we have a good time. And this is a favorite here on the show for sure. But there are, I just found out, some cards in here that are in fact blank. And because they're blank, I can write on them. So I've written on some of these cards, and we're going to play some of these combinations that I think are going to be fun for us to brainstorm together. And I've made up some of them on my own. So we're going to do that in a couple minutes. I'm also going to share with you some of the prizes today. So we're going to give away stuff at the top of the hour here. So around 9 a.m., we're going to give away a whole bunch of things, from signed books to some workshops. The ultimate grand prize that will be given away at the very, very end. And the way that I'm going to select them is not from a wheel of names today. It's just going to be randomly from you as a commenter. So, of course, please continue to engage and say something and just chat. Obviously, don't spam or I will put you in timeout. All right? And I don't want to put you in timeout. I had to put some of you in timeout before, but most of you are doing it fine. So the grand prize is you will get a spot on the Ask Pat podcast. I'm gonna bring you on. We're gonna have a 30-minute conversation that will be recorded, and I'm gonna post it on Ask Pat as an actual episode. We're gonna put obviously all the relevant links to your stuff in there, and I'm gonna help you out at the same time. And you're gonna get some love and some exposure from being on Ask Pat. And usually, not always, but sometimes people who come on to Ask Pat, they get another chance to come on later in the year. So you're going to have a chance to come on to Ask Pat in early 2021, ask a question, share what you might need help with, and then maybe later in the year, depending on how well you take action on what we kind of go over, you will then be able to come back later in the year to talk about what has happened since your episode. So this could be a twofer. It might be the opportunity for you to come back again. So that'll be fun. And who knows? We'll see who wins that later. But for right now, it is 8:15 a.m. We're about 15 minutes away from our first guest. We have 3 guests on with us today. So why don't we play a game? Are we ready for a game? I think we're ready for a game. So, remember, we're going to pick an industry card and a demographic card. Not all of these are blank. I found some good combinations, however, and this should be really fun. So, we're going to crowdsource some of these names here. There's no, of quote unquote prizes. I'm not adding names to a wheel or anything like that because some of us just aren't as creative as others. Some of us just go through a rough patch sometimes when it comes to how to come up with names for these brands on the fly. But I want you to come up with the name for a bakery for podcasters. A bakery for podcasters. So what would you name a bakery for podcasters? Give me your best, chat. I'm stoked to see what creativity you have in store for me and for each other. Just Samson said, Ask Pat is my drug of choice. We pronounce ask differently, says Rock Reflections. Ask Pat sounds so much like ass Pat. How about arse? Just kidding. That's so funny. Ask Pat. Yes, Ask Pat. Okay, so we're doing a bakery for podcasters. What would you name your bakery for podcasters specifically? We got podcast bakery. Just straight up what it is. That's easy enough. Podcast bakery. Poppin' Fresh Podcast. Ooh, what would we be serving at Poppin' Fresh Podcast? Popcorn chicken, maybe just Popeyes type food. Let's see, Baker's FM. I like that. The chat is flying indeed, for sure. Sound bites, dude. Of course. Reinvention Journey. I like that one. I like that. I'm gonna give a wow to the ones that I really like, or other sounds that might make sense. Sweet Sounds. I like that too. Sweet Sounds from Sue. Ooh, that even sounds better. That could be your bakery, Sue. Sweet Sounds from Sue. I can imagine like cookies in the shape of a microphone or headphones or like the RSS feed looking thing, or maybe you get to have a treat from your favorite podcaster. You know how you can put like graphics on cookies and stuff? A cake, Bake Pod, Andremia, I like that. Cake Pod, Baker's Cast Club. These sound like really good just names for podcasts, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Pod Treats, Sound Cake, Sound Bites, another Sound Bites. I like that one. Again, McMuffins or Mike Muffins. Yo! Although it made me think of McDonald's a little bit. Mike Donald's? Nah, no. Okay, sorry. Pod Pockets. Why did I just... Oh. Pod Pockets. Instead of Hot Pockets. Bread Podcast, Pod Cake. Need the Dough. Shane.
Bruh.
Give you these are so good, you guys. These are so good. These sweet conversations. I like this as sort of like a, it's not just a place to go and get food. It's a place to come in and have conversations with each other. And there's microphones set up at each table. Each table is in its own soundproof booth so that you can actually have a conversation and record it. Bro, imagine that. Sweet conversations. You come in, you get your baked goods, your coffee, you sit down, you close the pod, you can have a conversation with one other person, or you can go to the big table where you have a round table situation and you just eat and have a good time. And you can record these things, and for a monthly price of $29.99, you can have as many 1 hour, or you can have a 30-minute session once a week. There's obviously higher tiered prices, or you can become a premium member where you can get unlimited. But anyway, we'll talk more about pricing later. And we'll give you a USB stick or send you on Dropbox a file of your recording after it's done. Boom. Pod Bake, Audio Muffin, Bake Pod, Breadcasts, Loud Loaf. Now there's like that sounds like a club for bakers for sure. Loading Around, Podcakes. These are so good, y'all. Sweet Cast, Podcast for Pastries, Baked Mike, Power Up Pastries. I like that one too. I like Power Up Pastries because that has to do with Power Up Podcasting in my course. These are so good. These are so good. Thank you all. I'm not going to mention all of them, but these are really good. That was a lot of fun. You guys want to play one more before we continue chatting And obviously, if you have any questions at any time, this is like a big giant Q&A with guests and giveaways and all these fun things. But that was really fun. I really like that. Crusty Casts, says Francis. Podtisserie, Reinvention Journey. Coffee Clutch Counseling. Apple Pies to Apple Pods. I like it. Cake Walk and Talk. Dude, these are great. Thank you, Steve. Okay. Let's do... Okay. We got... Here's an industry card I made up. A YouTube channel. So a YouTube channel for who, though? For the Mafia. These things may exist, by the way. But what would you name, if you were in the Mafia, your YouTube channel? We need subscribers for this. So, let's see. A YouTube channel for the Mafia. A question from Learn, Grow, Give says, how do you censor and control your live casts? YouTube does most of the work for me. I think that they withhold comments that are maybe not so great. And if anybody has, like, is a troll or saying anything disrespectful and I see it, and typically the chat here does a good job of letting me know if there is somebody who's sort of a problem, I can put them in timeout and boot them. But a YouTube channel for the Mafia. Oh my gosh, these are so good. These are so good. I'm so happy right now. Chris, you didn't see anything. You didn't see anything for a YouTube channel for the Mafia. I like that a lot. Cement Shoes Life. Cement Shoes equals no life, basically. Mafioso. I like that. Violent Case Reviews. Ooh, hidden. I like that. But what's in the violent case is the question. It's almost like an unboxing show, but all the unboxings are like Mafia-related things. All right, today we got... I don't know what acronym... So today we got this violent case, and just let me delete that. Sorry. Grand Theft Godfather. Dude, can you imagine a show, literally a YouTube channel for the Mafia, and just like the personality and how like an older person who's just like has that Godfather voice. I wish I could do a better impression, but I'm not gonna even try. The Mattresses, Tough Guy Vids, Wise Guy. You being a wise guy? Forget about it. Yo, Gabriella, I like that. I like that one a lot. Let's see. Too bad it's still not a podcast. It could be the Podfather. More like the Vidfather, right? Mafia tutorials. Just like, hey, here's how to ice a guy in under 5 minutes. And wait till the end because I have anyway. Hello to my little friends. That, Debbie, oh, I love that. That would be how we, hey, say hello to my little friends, or hey, little friends, how are you? That's kind of funny. Conversations with Brothers. This is a good one. Definitely not the Mafia. The Dawn TV, that's a great one. Love that. $5 for your protection. Yeah, right? Like, hey, become a member of the channel. Or else. Although you can't really threaten people like that, I would imagine. Can't Reviews TV. Da Boss Tube. Why I oughta. The Mob Job. These are great. And can you imagine now that we have this card, the YouTube channel card, that we can just like mix things up a bit? We'll do more of it later. We'll do more of this later. This is really great. Italian Connection. I'm now getting added to a watch list, says Samson. Hey. Let's not talk about that. Yo, thank you. Day 200. I can't believe we are here already. Thanks for all the suggestions as well. You forget about it. I'm laughing so hard. These are so good. Aren't they? They're amazing. You guys are incredible. Not Blackmail TV. So day 200, yo. Appreciate you. This was a gift from Grandma Goody in day 100. The bra sign. Having an amazing time today so far. Hey, I noticed my YouTube thing is a little... There we go. We'll get that in there in the shot for a little bit. You eyeballing me, Pat Flynn? Nah. We're good. Don't sleep with the fishes. Day 200, yo. Day 200. How did we get here? Thank you, Mai. I got your card, by the way. And you have really, really good handwriting. This is cool. To Pat, April, Kaoni, Kai, Gizmo, Jess, and the team, you've been brilliant. Thank you all so much for everything. From M Bakery, check her out online. We crushed all the goodies that you gave us. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're just a few minutes away from our first guest today, so I'm going to prepare for that because I got to put some headphones in. We tested this last night with Jess to make sure you don't get an echo. Seeing Pat crack up just makes me LOL. Oh, we're just getting started. Debbie. How did I get you here? No, you got me here. I didn't get you here. You got me here. But this is the beauty of what we have. We have sort of this amazing relationship where I help you, you help me, so that I can help you, so that you can help me, and then we just kind of help each other out, which is really cool. I was quite sad that FlynnCon was canceled, but honestly, this is way cooler. The fact that we can connect every single day and all that kind of stuff. Question: how many new subscribers have you gained since being live, Pat Flynn? That's a good question, actually. Let me see if I can go to socialblade.com. It definitely was a lot more right at the start, and it's sort of come down a little bit in terms of daily growth. But let's see if I can go to socialblade.com. If you don't know this channel, Social Blade, that is not me. Oh, is this me? Why am I getting a D-? It wasn't a D- before. I don't believe that. Anyway, we can check out the growth of the channel. See, what is this? How did I get negative 365,000 views? That doesn't make any sense to me in the month of August. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, new subscribers gained. We had in March, 6,000, about 7,000. So where were we? Actually, I could check here, can't I? User summary. We gained a lot. And again, I can't thank you enough for that. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. Exactly, Tim, exactly. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. So over the past couple hundred days, there's been some really amazing things that have happened in the family. You know, the kids have, first of all, went through summer, and we weren't quite sure what was going to happen. And the kids have definitely stepped up to take ownership of a lot of things around the house. They've been doing their chores more. We've been using this opportunity as a family, and I just want to credit April for this, to teach the kids more about life skills. The kids are doing their own laundry now. They're doing most of the dishes at this point. They are also tending to the garden now, which is really cool. And the garden is just kind of exploding right now. Big shout out to Kevin from Epic Gardening here on YouTube, who's just completely changed kind of our lives. In fact, the garden's been great because it's something that the kids and I, we go out every day, we check the growth. Some things die and don't do so well, and other things are thriving, and we're sort of learning as we go together. We're also growing some microgreens together. It's actually gotten Kai to eat a lot more vegetables because she wants to eat what she grows. And we're teaching about sustainability. We're teaching about just how we've started composting over the past couple hundred days. That's new. And I'm learning all about the, putting your greens and your browns in a composter. We have this little tumbler in the back where we kind of put our food scraps. We even put like bills and after paying them, obviously. But you can put paper scraps. You can put paper towels in there. You can put newspaper and whatnot. And it becomes something that then will sort of create this incredible little reaction that then allows you to, wow, Mike, yo, that's incredible. 200 pieces of awesomeness. Love you, bro. Thanks for supporting and helping ESL teachers community. Can't thank you enough. Love you. We're all brothers and sisters in our Mother Earth. Peace to all members. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you. And thank you, Shonda, saying, wow, sounds like you are doing a great job at parenting. I think it's primarily April who is taking charge with like making sure the kids during this time aren't, upset every day about not being able to see their friends, but they're more thinking that this is a great opportunity, right? And that's how we approach this stream. in the beginning, how we have to look at this as potentially an opportunity. There are many, many people obviously going through the same situation in the world that we are, but it is up to us to choose how we want to react to this situation and what we might want to do with it. So, wow, Mike, thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate you. That's incredible, and congratulations to the growth of your channel too, and everything that you are doing there. Everybody check out Mike's home ESL. He's helping children. He's helping teachers. It's just so important to me. Last month, we were able to support so many teachers, in fact, and I'm still doing it this month. In fact, that's why I haven't really announced another charity or organization this month yet that we're supporting, because there still continues to be teachers that are paying out of their pocket that I'm finding that need help. And every day I'm going on to these people's Amazon wish list and I'm buying a few things here and there for them. And it really is making an impact. And a lot of these things, we've delivered over 100 things already to different people, which is incredible, different teachers and such. All right, let me check my phone to make sure our guest may be coming on pretty soon. Cool. And then we'll pop this person in here and have some fun. Yes, loving supporting the teachers. Maybe it's just me, LOL. What are you talking about? Did anyone else have a glitch in the Matrix? With the stream? Let me know if you guys are doing okay here with the stream. Cool. What else has happened in the past couple hundred days? What else has happened for you? Like what? Oh. Okay. I think our special guest may be here. So before I tell you who this person is, I have to tell you about this person. Not just in the past couple hundred days, but in the past, honestly, the last 2 years, this person has been one who's had an incredible impact on, especially the YouTube channel, but just in general, a great example of how to serve others. And this person has definitely stepped up and has helped continue to serve others during this time as well. He was once a person who's been on the Smart Passive Income podcast. In fact, one of the more memorable shows based on the stories that he was telling and how he's been able to make a incredible and massive impact on other people's lives. And I'm really excited to bring him on. So without further ado, let's welcome in. Let me make sure my audio is the way it should be so we don't get any echoes. And it looks like we are good to go. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. There he is. What's up, Roberto? How are you, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, Pat?
It's going well. Welcome to episode 200 of The Income Stream. Thank you so much for joining us today, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on 200 daily. That is insane, my friend.
Thank you. I remember even when I was going maybe 30 days straight, you had reached out to me and you'd said that's incredible. And here we are 200 days later. And I just went over sort of what has happened since 200 days ago and all the growth that I've had and the YouTube channel has had. What has happened for you in the past couple hundred days? Obviously, this has been affecting everybody. What has come out of the quarantine time for you?
A larger focus on not only my own mental health, but in the conversations around our mental health and our anxiety, and also social responsibility, the concept of being responsible and accountable for how we communicate, especially if we're in a position of leadership or a position of power of any kind, taking extreme accountability on our words and what we put out into the world and how that affects and impacts others.
So how specifically have you made changes to communicate these such things on your YouTube channel? I know you're thinking about it differently. You're taking a different approach to it. Like what exactly have you been doing?
There are a lot of things, but one of the more personal things is acknowledging my role and my experiences and identity as a person of color and as a creative entrepreneur that has a Black and Latino background. It's something that in the past I'd only lightly acknowledged or I rarely touched on, partly because the entire time I watched my own career and my parents' career, it just didn't feel like you had permission to talk about that, to talk about those experiences or what that means. And there are a lot of people in my audience and in my community that is meaningful to just hear the words out loud and to hear it be acknowledged. And I felt that was important. And I felt that I had a responsibility to make it clear that it's not that I don't want to do that. It's that our framework of our society has made it very uncomfortable and made you feel very awkward about it. And I wanted to acknowledge that awkwardness. And I also wanted to tell people it's okay if you don't get it right, whether you're a person of color or not. If you're talking about very powerful and very important moments or your lived experiences, it's okay if you don't get it right, especially in a world where you haven't even had permission to explore it.
Yeah, thank you. And I think part of that is, understanding that we don't have to be perfect, like you said, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to sort of step into perhaps sometimes what we believe in or even who we are because we're afraid. We're afraid of what other people might say or that we might get things wrong. One thing that I know is a specialty of yours that I think would be really helpful for everybody here. And again, everybody's loving you right now and the fact that you're here. Some people guessed it was you, which was really cool. But how do we step into more of who we are, despite knowing that it's likely going to attract perhaps some negativity at times? It's very difficult to stay positive sometimes in these kinds of situations. How do you remain positive during these times?
I give people permission to say no to me, and I acknowledge that it's going to happen. Like, that's a part of it. Even when it wasn't something as nearly as serious or as core to who I am, just little things. Even when I was beginning my journey as a content creator, opening up more and talking about a lot of different aspects of my personality, even talking about some of my own struggles with mental health and insecurity and bullying. As I revealed the layers of myself and I told my stories, I found that I had more of my audience actually relate to that and make a commitment to me. And I found that whatever I imagined or whatever I feared was an exaggeration in my own brain, and the reality didn't match up to my worst imagined fears at all. And that was something that's really powerful. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of things because of that fear. And the thing is, I think we just have to accept that consequences exist. But if we go ahead, if we say, it's okay if you're not on board with this, or it's okay if you can't always support everything I do, all I'm asking is that you be open and that we be able to be respectful about it. And if we part ways, that we do it in a civil way. Like, that's all you have to ask of people. And that's not a big ask if you really think about it. It's not a big ask
Right.
to say, you can disagree with me on 1 or 2 points, but can you also take into consideration all the things that we enjoy about each other or all the value that I create for you, and ask yourself, is that worth being able to civilly or respectfully disagree with me on 1 or 2 points, or not always be 100% on board with where I'm going, but is the other 80 or 90% of it worthwhile to you? It's not
Yeah, I
unreasonable
mean,
to ask.
no, it's not. It's not. And I think that if anybody doesn't want to remain open, then it's like, well, then get out of here. Like, you don't deserve my attention, and there's so many more other people that I need to help and serve right now. Thank you for sharing about that and being open and honest. The chat's loving it right now. It's very powerful. Says my castle life, and wisdom says teachers making the making the basics fun. Thank you for that. To switch topics a little bit, I'm
Yeah,
noticing your
sure.
background, and I have seen it evolve so much over the past few years in your studio, and you're always sharing these really cool behind the scenes stuff. Like, as a video creator, how do you determine what things look like on camera for you? Like, where does that come from? A lot of us here, myself included,
Mhm.
have a space in our house or in an office or studio where we film, but it's hard to get it right sometimes. And what inspires you to have what you have in the background?
Well, a lot of it is just also very personal, like, stuff. But then in terms of composition, I have a background in photography, so I always have aesthetic in mind. I just have that part of my brain that gravitates toward that. But also, a lot of it is just also wanting to build the perfect creative space for myself to enjoy.
Mhm.
It's great for you guys to see and enjoy this and to have this on camera experience, but it's actually great for me to work and live in the space all day. When I was an employee, not unlike yourself, like Pat, when we were employees, a lot of times you get this little cubicle and you don't get to do a lot with it. And it really isn't energizing. It's so draining and it's so drab. And maybe people in the audience can relate to this. So when I built my own space, in general, when I became independent, I wanted to be a better boss than what I had. And in many ways I do that. In some ways I'm worse. But the that's just honesty for you. But the thing is, I wanted control of my environment, but not just control. I wanted to create an experience that I could really enjoy coming to work for, and have that, because it was so draining and it was so hard to go into the office and to be in that environment and everything like that. I wanted something that felt comforting, inspiring, and also was organized and clean. And even when I invested in all my gear and all my hardware, it's because, frankly, when I was an employee, they didn't always give me the best tools to do my work. They didn't always give me things that made me faster, better, more efficient, or even physically comfortable. So I have a great chair my friends at Main Gear hooked me up with when I was having back problems, because apparently I thought I had a decent enough chair, but apparently I went a little cheap on it, and I was sitting in it most of the day. So it's like, oh, you know what? My back infinitely better after they hooked me up with this chair over a year ago. I recently got an ergonomic footrest, and I realized, oh wow, my knees feel better. I have an ergonomic wireless keyboard mechanical keyboard, because when I was an employee, I kept constantly having repetitive stress in my wrist and wrist strain. I haven't had that in years, even though I probably spend more hours theoretically in a week, sometimes, not all the time, but like I spend as much time or sometimes more time working on these things, and I feel better. I don't have eye strain because I've got a monitor that takes care of that for me. I don't have repetitive stress or carpal tunnel because I have the right things. I have less back pain because I built an environment, Pat, that's not only aesthetically pleasing, but emotionally satisfying and caters to my physical needs and limitations.
I love that. I love how you've been thinking about the whole package there and sort of what might happen long term if we were to stay in this environment. So energy as well as ergonomics. You're speaking the language of somebody who's in the chat right now, Dr. Joella, who helps people with ergonomics. I'm sure she's smiling ear to ear right now, hearing you talk about what you're talking about. If you were to pull
this
one
is a
thing,
stand desk for that same reason.
yeah, exactly. If you were to pull one thing or showcase one thing that you have in your office that you feel best represents who you are, like looking around, what would you show? And if you can't bring it onto camera, that's okay. But what there inspires you or motivates you the most, would you say?
Maybe it's my Funko Pops. Like I have my Spider-Man Funko Pops. This is Miles Morales over here, and then this is Pete. This like I'm just a big old nerd, and that's something that also I felt was important to communicate in my aesthetic. I recently showed a friend of mine. I showed her some photos around here of the office, and she said, "Wow, I can literally see almost every aspect of your personality reflected in the puzzle pieces of that room."
That's so cool. And I would agree with that with the pictures I've seen. How would you, if you didn't have access to a room, this is for the people who are watching or listening right now who just don't have an office space of their own at their house or their own little corner to decorate and have that energy. How would you still recommend a person who does want to get behind the camera to find that energy and get excited about getting behind the camera?
So this is a good one. When I was first getting started, I didn't have a lot. I just was in my bedroom, just like most people when I first got started, sometimes my backyard. And what I found is if I couldn't derive the energy from the environment, I had to derive it from the subject matter. I had to be passionate about what I was talking about, fired up, sure about it, or frustrated with it enough. I had to draw on my strong emotions. Something the Jedi won't tell you. But I had to draw on my strong emotions, my passion, and find strength in that to push me when motivation fails, discipline won't, because I also had to say, I'm going to do this. I had to make a commitment, and I had to decide that I'm making a commitment to my audience, and it's not that I'm going to fake it on camera or I'm going to manufacture contrived feelings. I'm going to find something deep down inside of me. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to throw it at the lens and see what happens.
Nice. And sort of that seeing what happens is a really important component. And the last question I want to ask you before we have something that, in fact, you said that you might want to offer everybody. We're going to give away one person,
sure,
one of those prizes. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But for those who are just starting out in their video journey, you've been at this for how long now on YouTube?
YouTube, it's been over 7 years. I've been building my brand probably almost close to a decade. I'm actually losing track of the timeline now. It just like starts to blend together. I mean, I'm
We
sure
kind
it's
of
the
all
same
are.
for you. There's certain milestones you remember, and then everything else is a blur.
Exactly. And so over those years, and you've helped a lot of other people with their channels, mine included. For those who are just starting out in their video journey, there's a lot of people here who we've done video channel reviews over the weekend for. They're maybe at 100 subscribers or 50, and they're staying consistent. They are trying to break through. And, you know, I try to tell stories of people like MKBHD. His first 100 videos were for his first 100 subscribers. Mr. Beast, who took forever. I'd love to hear your perspective on what it takes to find success here on YouTube and win with video.
So a story that I didn't tell a few years back that I regret not telling the story because I didn't understand how, because I was also looking at people with like millions of subs and I didn't think it was a big deal. I grew, and our friend Owen, Owen Video actually knows this because he was there when it happened. I grew in 1 year from 20,000 subscribers at the beginning of February 2015 to, what was it? To about 75,000 subscribers by the December of that same year. Now, in YouTube, that's what's called blowing up, but I didn't know that back then. I didn't know that that level of fast growth was that meaningful at the time. You see, I didn't realize that that would represent maybe some potential like extreme of growth, right? And as a result of not fully understanding or appreciating what a big deal that was, I downplayed it, and I didn't. But the good news is I did document the growth though, and I did document what got me from 20,000 to 50,000. I did celebrate some of those milestones with my community, and I'll tell you what it came down to, Pat. I'll tell you what it came down to for me at least, and what continues to work for me to this day, and people that I coach and people that I've mentored. I don't recommend doing daily content, even though that's what worked for me. But I can tell you what out of doing daily content did have meaning. For me, it was the same thing as being an athlete or being an artist or being a musician. Anything I've ever done that just repetition improved me because it improved my sharpening of the saw, my understanding, gave me the ability to experiment with a low threshold of consequences, because if I had a daily ritual of I have to produce something of value. And that ritual built into me habits that made me efficient, made me practical. It gave me a lot to analyze, to say, I did this yesterday, here are the results. I did this a month ago, here are the results. I had a lot to look at, to learn from. And I also was getting much more comfortable on camera, more confident. I was answering every single comment too. Not only was I a daily channel, but I was answering every single comment at that time, which means I was building relationships on a daily and regular basis and with consistency and with frequency, which means that people kept coming back and commenting and then would subscribe even if they weren't, because they weren't expecting a response and they were getting one. And not only did they get one, they kept getting one. And so that was a different experience. And I also realized that because I was uploading so much, people kept checking back on me. So I wasn't relying on the YouTube algorithm. The other thing is my content was mostly educational, which means I was solving one problem at a time for people. So whereas I don't get a ton of views like an entertainment channel where there's escapism, when someone has a problem, I have a chance of getting the attention of that specific person at that particular time. And they may subscribe because they say, he's a respectable resource. And when I need him again, I want to have a way to bookmark that and prioritize them. That doesn't mean they want to watch every video of mine. And see, I accept that. One of the things I can tell you is you need to decide how your channel is going to go. You need to decide your own destiny and fate with that. And you need to not believe in a relationship between views and subscribers. I know that that's a cultural norm in YouTube, but from a technical standpoint and from a viewer standpoint, it doesn't exist. From a viewer standpoint, subscribing to you may be a declaration of some support, but it's not an agreement to, nor can you assume it's my intention to watch everything that you put out. So there's a lot of assumptions that go with the metrics of subscribership and viewership. What's popular isn't always good. It can be popular because it's controversial. It can be popular because it is timely. That doesn't necessarily become an indicator of quality. It's only a indicator of attention, which at this stage in the game is something that is not necessarily the same thing as genuine value. It's about the market's perception of value, if that makes sense. So your video views, you can make the best quality content in the world, and I've seen it. I've seen people with short films, cinematics, drones get less views than someone gossiping at the camera because of the latest celebrity scandal with no production value, no editing, no storytelling. Why? Because of timeliness and relevancy. So you can either internalize that and be hurt by it, or you can, separate it and say, well, that has nothing to do with me. And what you can do is you can focus on the response in the comments of your videos of how do people who did give this a chance feel about it. The people who don't give you a chance have nothing to do with you. The people who don't give you a chance have nothing to do with you. I know it can hurt and it can feel like a rejection, but it could just simply be superficial. It could be something very shallow. And often, if you're not getting the views that you want, the clicks that you want, it's often the title, the thumbnail, or it's interest in the topic itself. Me not watching your video about surfing, that's nothing personal. I just am not that talented, and I'm not going to die on the ocean.
Bro, dude, I just wanted to have you keep going because that was such amazing wisdom in the chat here. They were like, I wasn't expecting to be here to take notes today. I thought we were going to party, and this is even better. So thank you, Roberto. This is what I love about it. Every time, even when we have a conversation at a conference or something, you and I will sit together and we'll chat, and you always go deep with your answers because you truly do come from a place of service and have a lot of experience and wisdom to share. And Roberto, thank you again for what you've done to inspire me here on YouTube and inspire all of us who are watching. Tell us a little bit about this thing that you said that you'd want to give away, and we'll pick somebody at random in just a minute here. But what is it exactly?
Yeah, well, and we can give away like 3 of them. So I have a product. Yeah, we can give away 3 of them. I can get you those coupon codes so that's free for them. So over on my coaching site, awesomecreatoracademy.com, we have something called the YouTube Starter Kit. It's something I made for content creators, Pat, because after auditing literally thousands of YouTube channels, I kept seeing creators have the same struggles. I have a background in graphic design. It's my secret weapon in everything I do in business. It's probably saved me tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point. But not everyone's a graphic designer. Books are judged by their cover. So are YouTube channels. So are YouTube videos. And I realized that we kept running into the same problem of people making good videos that deserve to be viewed, but they're being judged by bad thumbnails. And I think you know a little bit something about this because you do these great presentation decks. You do these amazing presentation decks. And so you know that sometimes presentation isn't everything. Sometimes it's the only thing.
Yeah.
And we're immediately screened. We're immediately screened on visual perception, even if you go into a job interview, even if you go onto a date. So it happens with YouTube creators. So I took my Photoshop skills and I made over 100 different Photoshop assets for people for their YouTube thumbnails, their channel artwork. And I did these with the skills of a graphic designer that people may not have. And you don't need Photoshop to edit them. So I did that. I also realized, Pat, that people were struggling with just coming up with titles and sometimes coming up with ideas. So we came up and we made a PDF with 100 ideas to launch your YouTube channel when you're in that experimental phase, like we talked about Mr. Beast, when you don't know what you want to make yet, but you need to do something so that you can at least have the experience and, throw things at the wall, see if they stick. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to play and you don't know where to start. So we gave you 100 ideas of videos that you could make. And, a lot of them are easy to do with no budget. And then also finally, Pat, that copywriting and writing headlines is hard as hell. It really sucks sometimes and it means everything. So I came up with 20 title formulas based on the most successful YouTube content creators' word structure. Me and my team even went through readability test scoring and we crafted 20 title formulas. And then we wrote 5 examples of using these in the real world. So basically, we came up with 100 YouTube titles and we wrote them for you, and you can use them. So all of that and more is in this YouTube starter kit. And I want to give it away to 3 lucky creators today that are on your stream celebrating 200 streams today.
Bro, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I picked out the 3 winners already randomly from the chat here. And all you have to do is send an email to pat@patflynn.com, and we'll give you the coupon codes to Roberto's program. Roberto, you and I will connect after. But congratulations to Xenia and Vlada. That's one person, but they're 2 in the same channel.
Right on.
So Xenia and Vlada, that's the first one. Gov Kid Method, and Dogs Are the Best Friends. So Xenia and Vlada, Gov Kid Method, and Dogs Are the Best Friends indeed. All 3 of you send an email to pat@patflynn.com, and we'll get you those coupon codes to the YouTube starter kit. And Roberto, dude, thank you so much for coming on today. Appreciate you, your wisdom, your experience, your vulnerability, sharing everything that you've had today to share. So we appreciate you, and we'll see you later. Everybody, go subscribe to Roberto if you haven't already. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much, Pat. Talk to you soon. Bye.
You too. Bye. Woo! Yes, that was awesome. Roberto, man, just definitely check him out for sure if you haven't already. We have another special guest coming very, very soon. But in the meantime, we're going to play another round. We're going to play another round. I'm trying to make sure that this next person is available to come in. But that was a lot of fun. Very cool. So we're going to play another round of brand standing. And if you just are coming in today, thank you for coming in and celebrating episode 200 with us today. Really, really excited. And actually, hold on. There is another guest who we have coming in a little bit later who, if you could come in a half hour from now, that would be great. You're a little early, but that's okay. I'm gonna hang up right now, and I think you know who you might be if you are indeed calling in. But we have another guest coming in before the one who just called me. So all good. Okay, so we're going to do another brand standing where we're going to pick an industry and also a demographic, and we're going to come up with a brand name for this. So here we go. If y'all are ready. The last 2 were great. The last 2 were so good. I was so impressed. All right, here we go. We're going to do a podcast name for overly competitive soccer moms. A podcast name for overly competitive soccer moms. And I did hear from Karma earlier this morning. He's unable to make it due to having to go into teach today. So Karma, I know you're not here today, but I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Again, Mike, thank you for that amazing, gracious donation earlier. Appreciate you. But what would you name a podcast for overly competitive soccer moms? This should be a fun one, I think, because if you've been to any soccer games, there are indeed some very competitive parents out there for sure. So, okay, I had on the side talks, so that's a nice friendly one, right? That's a nice friendly one. Karen Kicks, like the alliteration. Karen's has taken this completely different meaning this year, which is funny. Tiger Mom Talk. Why is Tigers always like, I was on the Tigers when I was playing soccer. That's always like a generic sort of soccer name. Wasn't there a movie with Will Ferrell where they were the Tigers too? Here's kind of what I was imagining. You guys are just showing up in droves right now. My kid is better than yours. Show. That's so fun. I literally saw a bumper sticker one day where, you know how it's like, hey, my kid was an honor student at such and such elementary. It was like that style, except it basically said, you know, my kid is smarter than yours. Which that's just crazy. Smash it, pod moms. Move it. Move it. Move it. Just that's what I can imagine a overly competitive soccer mom saying to their kid. Karen calls Soccer Cast. Kick it to the competition. My Kid's the Best podcast. Very similar. Goalie Casters. Let's see here. Gossip on the Side with the Best. Get on the ball. Get on the ball. What would I say? I used to coach soccer, and I was coaching Keone when he was on the team. I would say like go to the ball, because especially at that young age, I mean, Keone was only 5, and all the kids would just kind of swarm around, and they would kind of just run alongside and not really go for the ball. So I would say that a lot. Go for the ball. Let's see. Talkative with the best. Goals and goals. I think mom goals would be a cool one, right? Hashtag mom goals. Sean says, come on, ref. Soccer Moms Pod. Oh dear, that was me, says Diane. That's funny. Tiger Mom Ball. Sideline Screamers, the Soccer Punch podcast. Hey, Dr. Severin, great to have you here. Thank you so much. Is this the tagline, Kathy? Understanding why your kid sucks? Oh, man. My athlete, your honor student. I want to talk to your manager show, says Manos. It's just a game. This is what we would say to the soccer moms, right? It's just a game. But no, it's more than just a game. Battle of the Minivans. I like that. That's a good one, GTO. I like that. Stopping in before service to say congrats to 200 episodes. Pat Flynn, you're awesome. Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate you for being here. Team Mom Trophies. My kids beat the ball. Happy Feet Show. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a cute one. Brian, we'll give you points for that one, because that's taking the opposite side. Pod Kickers. Sock it to 'em. Let's see. The Mom's Transport Show. Goldcast. Pod Sockers. I love the funny. These are so good. Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Who said that? I scrolled over it, but then I lost it. Van Gogh, says Steven. I like it. I like it. Hope you guys are having fun today. We are exactly halfway through the show already. If it was just an hour, we'd be done. How crazy is that? These hours go by so quickly every single time. I just cannot. It just blows me away every single time. Day 200, yo. Day 200. Thank you again for the sign. This thing shines really nicely, in fact. If I do this, can we still read it? Actually, we can. Whoa. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay. So I love what Roberto was talking about, especially just stepping fully more into yourself and who you are, despite knowing that it's likely going to attract some people who may disagree with you otherwise. And the cool thing is disagreement is okay. In fact, that's where a lot of growth can happen. It's where we start to see trolls and other people who are very loud about that disagreement. And oftentimes that comes from a place of hurt on their end. As we've often talked about here, I remember we did an episode between episodes 100 and 200 about the time I almost gave up, related to when a hater did some really nasty things and such. But I'm really, really fortunate that I've had a lot of people to support me along the way, including our next guest, who I'm really excited to bring on. I got to tell you about this guest, too, because this person goes way back to... in fact, I hired this person for some help early on. And you're welcome to take a guess if you happen to have an idea of who this person might be. But I hired this person at first. And then we met at a conference, and we just connected, like right then and there. And he taught me a lot about the different things I could do to grow my business. He, in fact, has helped me step out of my comfort zone quite a bit. And he's an expert on branding yourself, especially when it comes to personal brands, whether you want to be an author, a speaker, a blogger, podcaster, YouTuber, fully stepping into. This is a perfect segue from what we just talked about with Roberto, because this person gives us the tactics and the how to, in fact, fully step into ourselves. So let's not wait any further. My brother from another mother, Mr. Chris Ducker, all the way in the UK. What's up, Chris? We can't hear you. If you might be muted on your end. But we'll try to get you on. If not, we could find another way. There is always a way.
How about this? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Yay. What's up, man? How you doing, my friend?
Dude, I've had problems with my camera here. I wanted to use, because, you're the guru for me. I always text. He's like, Pat's like my tech support. So I text him, and I'm like, how do I get my DSLR to connect to my computer? And it's been working absolutely fine for months. And for this, I don't know why.
Until right now.
It wouldn't accept my DSLR. So I'm having to use my Logitech here. So if I'm looking a little bit pastier and more British than usual, this is the reason why.
Dude, it's all good. You're a little choppy too, but it doesn't matter because we could hear you perfectly. You sound great. How is life
Good.
over there in the UK during the pandemic for you? What's been going on the last couple hundred days for you?
Well, I mean, right? We've been in touch pretty regularly. It's at first it was kind of like, well, I've been self-isolating for 10 years working at home, so big
Hmm.
deal kind of thing. And then it kind of, then I became a school teacher, and all that sort of fun stuff. So that was, I don't know, man. Like I would be lying if I said it hasn't been a struggle at times. It certainly has done. Just from a day to day kind of scenario, right? Like, it's different. It's different what we're used to. Business wise, this is where I'm thankful that redundancy has been in place for many years, owning 3 different businesses and varying, industries and niches. One of them has been hit pretty hard, but the other 2 have actually been doing very, very well indeed. So it's, it kind of sucks that one of them's doing badly, but the other 2 are doing amazing. So I'm not going to complain too much about it.
I know that one thing that you've done really, really well during the pandemic here has how you've transitioned your in-person accelerator group. You have a group of a number of business owners who paid you to meet in person and to get help from you and that sort of thing. And of course, now we can't meet in person. Tell us all, give us an insight on like even what you've done to perhaps even make this experience even better. Because I've even heard personally from people in your group saying, wow, just the way Chris has been handling this and still making it feel very valuable despite not being able to meet in person. Like, how have you done that? I know you fully stepped into that and done that very well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't have much choice. I mean, we had to,
Right.
right? So, I'm getting horrible latency at this end here for some reason as well. I don't know what's going on. I live in the middle of the countryside, but usually I have no problems with this. So I don't know whether it's a browser thing, but anyway, I'm gonna
It's all
continue
good. We can
fighting
hear you
on
just
here.
fine. We can hear you just fine.
Cool. So, yeah, we didn't have much choice, man. So it was okay. We got to roll with the punches. It's not the first time a spanner has been thrown in the works over 15 years of building businesses. We can figure it out, and it really just comes down to having to figure it out. But this is where also, if there was ever a time for me to truly practice what I preach in terms of the clients that I coach from a personal branding perspective, this was the time to step it up and show them how to do it right. And so that flexibility was there. We didn't really need to pivot all that much because content was already in place, guests were already invited, and they were still fine to be on board virtually with things. But obviously, we were going to miss that in-person environment, right? And I always say that, ideally, we want to be building relationships with handshakes, hugs, and high fives. They're my 3. And kind of couldn't do any of them. So we had to go with virtual handshakes and virtual high fives and virtual hugs. And so, luckily, we had everything, and it was just a matter of just going from an offline setting to an online setting. Now, we'll say that hasn't come without its challenges because, as you know, I'm very reliant on my team, right? Like, I don't want to have to worry about cameras and lights and mics and backdrops and all that stuff because that's not what I do best. It's a horrific weakness from my perspective. And again, I lean into stuff and I say, work on your strengths, delegate your weaknesses. And here I am all of a sudden having to design like a YouTube set. Like it's just, and then I'm looking at like people like you and Roberto. I'm like, this sucks. This is horrible.
Sorry, bro.
But you just have to get through it. And so I figured out the tech, I figured out the camera. I called Pat Flynn tech support on a number of occasions, and they've been very helpful to me. So there you go.
You're welcome. I still have to send you your bill. I haven't sent you the bill yet, but
just give me the mate rate. That's all I want, a mate rate.
All right. So although I still owe you a lot because when I went to visit you, you paid for everything for me. I'm still actually having to pay you back for a lot of those things. So anyway, your video is looking really good. That
was my plan. It was my plan to get you. You're under. That's it now. That's it for life. You have to do pretty much
I owe you
anything I ask you to do for me.
I do owe you, in fact, a lot. Not just for that time in the Philippines, but for the times that you've encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone. One of those things was indeed finding help and hiring people. And I'd always been, and you know this, somebody who was quite scared to step out and find a team and to have some support. I wanted to do everything myself. And before you went all in on personal branding, you were also known for helping people find help. And I think nowadays, like you just said, sometimes we are now forced to consider these other things that we weren't forced to think about before, and we can use this help. How would you encourage somebody who's watching this right now who is at the beginning stages of their business but knows they need some support? Like, what advice would you have for them to get over the mindset like I had to? Like, talk to Pat 2010 when I was doing everything myself. How would you encourage me or the audience here to start finding some help? Why is that important?
I mean, it's important because particularly if you're serious about building a business, it could be a side hustle right now, but you want it to become your full-time thing. You want to work on it every single day because it's what, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you swing your legs off the bed, you want to jump up and get to work doing what you truly, honestly were put on this earth to do, and were called, right, to do. And I think the big issue is that if you carry on doing everything yourself, eventually you will end up burning out. It's not a matter of if it'll happen. It's purely just a matter of when.
You burn out.
And then if you burn out, you're no good to nobody for nothing. And I know because I've burnt out, as you well know, once in late 2009. We had just really just become buddies at that point, and I was going through that, and that actually led me to having spine surgery because I crushed my lower disc in my lower back through sitting on a chair for 15 hours a day building my business, right? So yeah, I remember actually, to use the perfect example to this, and it really what it is about more than anything else is just about getting started. So you might not be able to go full-time with somebody. You might not even have the funds available to go part-time with somebody right now. But I guarantee you've got something that you can ultimately delegate task-wise right now. And you've definitely got a little bit of money somewhere. You could get if you worked at it, you could get your hands on something to be able to pay somebody to do something for you, right? And I remember walking out of a hotel with you. I think it was in Las Vegas, and we were heading to dinner. And I asked you something along the lines of like, how's the inbox situation currently? Because we talked about it before, and you were like, oh, it's 2,000 unread messages. It's 4,000 unread messages. And I think we were coming out of one of those revolving doors, and you were like, oh, it's like 9,000 or something. I was like, what? And we were going around in circles. I was like, how have you got 9,000 emails in your inbox right now? And I couldn't fathom that, because that just showed that you had not truly started delegating properly. And as you very clearly pointed out, I'd been harping on at you about it for a long time. And then you hired Jess, right? And that kind of that was the big turning point for you. I've often said we've had many conversations over the years, and for me, the big turning point, there was two big turning points for me with you, and that was, the first one was hiring Jess. At that point, you became, in my mind, even though I've known you for years, you became, in my mind, a true blue entrepreneur, somebody who's actually got somebody on board full time with them. Might only be one person, but you're building your team. You've kicked it off. And then a few years after that, when you started working with Matt, and now obviously the very much resident SBI team, that was when you became the CEO. And you and I were having drinks at that cool place in San Diego with the secret bar, that when we sat down at the fireplace and we kind of span around and we were having drinks in that cool bar, and you were telling me about how you'd brought the team on full time, and you were, a little apprehensive about it, but very excited about it at the same time. That's when you become the CEO. And so these are two very distinct milestones in any entrepreneur's journey, actually, in regards to, number one, just acknowledging the fact that they can't do it themselves anymore, but then number two, actually taking the action they need to take to be able to move forward and get help.
I remember when we sat down and had drinks at that bar, because when I told you that news, because it was big news, I literally bought Matt's company to take everybody on board, and you had the biggest smile, And I knew where that was coming from, is because you had worked so hard for so long to try and get me to understand. And there it was in that moment. And I want to say you even like gave me a hug and kissed me on the head or something at that moment. I mean, you were like, I could tell that you were proud, and I appreciate you for that. And, you know, it's always good to remember those times, because now that I'm in it, and I've been in it for, you know, over a year now with the team full time, you know, we're rolling, and it's always great to remember sort of what it was like before, because now I can even be more grateful. And sometimes it's hard when you're sort of in it to remember the why or the where you were. One thing I want to talk about, I've seen you speak on stage several times. You have this amazing way of integrating what you've taught, which is the 3 things you need to include when you're creating content, or the different types of content. The educational, of course, because we want to teach people. The inspiring, because we want to motivate, but also the entertaining part of it. And I think that last one especially is often quite hard for people to sort of get a grasp on. How do we be entertaining? And when we try to put humor in something, or try to put some sort of level of entertainment into something, it almost feels disingenuous at times. I remember feeling that way. But we all know that when you can at least provide a little bit of entertainment, it becomes worth watching all the way through, or listening all the way through. How would you recommend for a person who has a brand to not only inspire and educate, but add that third component, which I know you've taught other people to do? You do this very well, especially if they don't consider themselves funny or entertaining. How do you recommend we inject that into our stuff?
I think the thing is, one thing that I have learned very, very clearly is that people are way funnier than they give their own credit, the credit to themselves for. Like I've met many people who I've sat down with initially, and I thought, oh, you know, they're a little dry, they're a little too serious almost. And within 15 or 20 minutes of getting to know somebody properly, it's actually very clear that this person is a funny, but they got fun stories to tell. They've got funny little anecdotes to add into it. And I think the issue is when you jump on stage, particularly in the first kind of like 10 gigs that you do, you're still a little unsure of yourself. You're still a little unsure as to what the hell you're even doing up there. Like, what am I even doing here? This is ridiculous. And I look back at some old photos and I'm like, that jacket was ridiculously too big. And I thought I looked like a stud. And it was ridiculous. Like, what were you doing? Not even tucking in your shirt, Ducker. This is mad. So, you know, you do. It's an evolution, man. It's an evolution, I think, of confidence and obviously just experience, just doing it over and over. But understand, and this was always the big thing. I remember, I think it was probably like, we were, I think it was LA. We were talking at Blogworld together in LA, 2010 or 11, something like that. And I remember I was about to go up on stage and I was doing a session about virtual assistants. And I remember looking out at the audience and seeing like Darren Rouse from Pro Blogger, Leah Babalta from Zen Habits, and a whole bunch of other people who were and still are all names in the industry. And I'm thinking to myself, there's like another 10 sessions these guys could be at. Why are they at mine? So that's that inexperience, that imposter syndrome seeking in right there. And I actually remember saying it out loud to Urs, my wife at the time, and she said to me, yeah, but they don't know what you know. That's why they're here. They don't know what you know, and they want to learn what you know. That's why they're here. And I got up on stage, and we had a great session. And I've become buddies with both those guys and many more people that were in the audience. So I think it's just a lack of confidence first and foremost. And then the second thing is people say, well, I can't think of any funny stories. I haven't got any funny stories. We've all got funny stories. Every single one of us have got funny stories. But what really pushes it over to a belly laugh situation is obviously how you tell those stories. And the one thing the one tip I can give to anybody when it comes to wanting to be entertaining on stage is to embrace and understand the power of the pause. I cannot stress that enough. When you drop something funny, or if you need to pause for a second, or if God forbid, if if the audience is laughing and is clapping, shut up. Let them laugh and let them clap, because you want to feed on that, and you will. You'll get the energy from them, and then you've got all the time in the mind like there. Boom! Now I've got a follow-up joke, and you drop that other little kind of additional anecdote there. And I think it's just very important to understand that, there's only a couple of things that you need to do on stage to be seen as entertaining, and understand that nobody knows your stories. Nobody's heard them before. And even if they have heard them before, a lot of them will actually be very, very happy to hear them again if they're funny enough.
Yeah, we've had specific. Thank you for that, Chris. We've had several days here on the Income Stream over the past couple hundred days where I've talked about the power of storytelling and how we have to learn it and get better at that craft. We've talked about Ramit Sethi and his story bank. The idea of like even these little random things that happen every day. If there's something interesting in there, pop them into your story bank, like on Evernote or in your notepad or something, so that you can go back to them later and see what kind of full story that you can create out of that. I remember telling a story on your stage about at Upreneur in the UK last year, where I was, it was actually 2 years ago, 2018, where I was
when it wasn't
about,
illegal to get on airplanes and stuff like that.
It was just a story about Keone wanting to play the iPad in the car, and it was cracking people up. And that was one of those cases where I just took something that happened in my day and I learned how to tell it in a way that was entertaining. And it was just a small little moment, and those things can definitely pop up. So I 100% agree with you. We all have these stories. We just need to, number one, be confident in those stories. And number two, I would say even practice them. I actually take some of these random stories and I try to create a story arc, and I try to inject some humor or some punchlines in there. And you're so right about the pause. I can't remember who said it, but on stage, you're having a conversation with the audience. And if they're clapping or laughing and you try to come in, like, you're interrupting them. Like they're speaking back to you in that moment. And I think that's really key. So thank you for that.
And it allows you, from a speaker's perspective, it allows you to be able to, like I say, think of that follow-up. Or even if you don't want to carry on with that line of fun and that line of joking, you can gather your thoughts as the audience is enjoying what you've just dropped on them, and kind of get ready for the next part of your presentation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm remembering. I can't remember.
Why are you
where
laughing right now? I don't look that funny. What are you doing?
So I want to tell a story now. So I was watching you present on stage, and I remember I was sitting like 3 rows back, and I was just watching you, and you just, something turned on in you, and you were like, I'm going to go down this path. I don't think it was even planned. And you had started telling this story about going into an Italian restaurant in the heart of like Little Italy somewhere, and you had been asking for Parmesan cheese on your spaghetti. And you were telling the story brilliantly with some voices, and we had just talked about something earlier about related to the Mafia. Like, you felt like you stepped into some Mafia restaurant because somebody who was like Big Tony or something came over and was like, no, you don't need Parmesan.
Tony.
And you were telling this beautiful story. Like, we'll have to have you back on the show to just tell that story. But then you got to the end of the story on stage in front of everybody, and you're like, I don't know why I was talking about that. Let me just get back to what I was going for. Yeah. And I like started crying because you had set up a perfect punchline related to the lesson you were talking about, and you couldn't even remember why you went down that route. And it was just such a letdown. It was such like a
This is the thing is that I think also there's a lesson to be had there as well, is that when you go down a rabbit hole, don't make it an infinite one. Just let it be for a while and get yourself out of the rabbit hole. And I think what it was that that particular story that's a story that I've told, I don't know, 100 times in 100 restaurants around the world. I mean, I've told it sitting down having dinner with Michael Hyatt. I've told it sitting down having dinner with, Carrie Wilkerson. I think I even might have even spoken about with Gary Vaynerchuk when we had lunch together. So it was like, you have these go-to stories, right? Like when you're in these, and so it was a go-to story. It was funny. I get the opportunity to do the accent and be a little bit of a showman. I go, hey, how you doing? You got the face with the thing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm getting into it. And then I realize I'm coming to the end of the story, and I literally have no idea how I'm going to segue this. And I think you're right. I think that's something like, there's no point to tell. It's just a good story. I just like to tell a story or something like that. Yeah.
I thought I knew where it was going, and the fact that like because you had you had been talking about the power of you and your brand, and like you have to stick to who you believe in, and this was an example of like Big Tony coming up to you and saying, no, the way we do it here, you don't need Parmesan, and it was like perfect, and you're just like, I don't know why I told that story. But anyways,
I think
storytelling.
that was probably like one of my most silly kind of faux pas on stage. I think the worst one I've ever had on stage was I was doing a session at the National Speakers Association annual conference in Philadelphia, maybe 5-6 years ago, and I was up on stage, 45 minutes, standard kind of keynote style sort of type of thing, and there was a lady who was probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 rows back, and like she just did not take her eyes off me. And then she was jotting down notes and looking up and jotting down notes, looking up, jotting down notes. And eventually at the end of the session, you get a few people come up and want to follow up questions and things like that. And she waited until the very last person. She came up to me and she said, I really enjoyed your presentation. I've got pages of notes here. I'm definitely going to be buying your book, but I need to let you know something before you leave this room and start walking around the conference center. And I said, what is it? And she said, your fly is low on your trousers. I was like, oh my God, I was absolutely mortified. Number one, my fly was low. Number two, a lady noticed it, not a gentleman, a lady. And number three, she came up and told me about it. It was horrific. What do you think is the very last thing I do before I jump on every single stage from that moment onwards? Now I check my fly. It's the last thing.
Yes, you do.
Every single time. Yeah.
Great story also. Chris, bro, thank you so much for joining us today and having us relive some of these moments in our past, talk about the importance of storytelling, the importance of stepping into you, knowing that everybody here has a story to tell and can tell it in a way that can be entertaining. The chat's laughing up a storm.
Really embrace them. Like if there's one big takeaway is embrace the stories, because only you have them and it's part of who you are. And I always say that you want to be unapologetically, uniquely you at all times. So tell the stories. I mean, when you asked me to MC FlynnCon last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year. And you were like, will you come and MC it? And I'm like, well, yeah, on one condition. I get to do whatever I want to do on stage. And you said, okay. And the reason why is because I knew, man, after over 10 years of friendship, I knew I had one story after another that I could tell about you and our time and our families and all the rest of it, knowing full well everybody in the audience wasn't there for me, they were there for you. So this was my one shot to embarrass you as many times as possible. And I don't think I embarrassed you. I think I told
not too
stories.
bad.
Not embarrassing.
No, it was good. It was great. Chris, thank you so much. We're going to be giving away 3 copies of your latest book to people randomly here. And that's on us. What is the name of the book really quick that and how can it help people? And then I'll give away to 3 random people while you talk.
Rise of the Youpreneur. And it is all about learning how to build a future-proof, profitable business based around your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, and the people that you want to serve. So if you are a content creator of any variety, YouTuber, streamer, podcaster, blogger, whatever, author, speaker, coach, consultant, anybody really building a business based around your expertise, that's the book that you want to read. Genuinely. It's a good book.
Nice. Thank you, man. I appreciate
and
you. We're going to give them away.
For giving those copies away. I had no idea you were going to do that.
No, dude, I got you. We got Bobby Ann W, Makeup by Antonica, and Elton Qua. send an email to pat@patflynn.com, and then Jess and I will get you hooked up on Amazon one way or another. So Bobby Ann W. Makeup by Antonica and Elton. Congrats, you just got Rise of the Youpreneur from my best friend, Chris Ducker. Chris, thanks for coming on the show today. We appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for giving us an amazing laugh.
Thank you, brother. And congrats on the 200 days in a row, man.
Thank you, my friend.
It's good to see you with that kind of stamina. I certainly couldn't do it.
Dude, I have the audience to thank for that, as you very well know. But thanks, my friend. We'll talk soon, and we'll chat non-business stuff very soon, I'm sure.
You got it.
Peace out,
Talk
brother.
to you soon, man.
Yes. Woo. That was awesome. I totally forgot to put the storytime music in there. Should have done that. That's my bad. That was really fun. All right, so we are soon to have another guest on to close the show. We got about a half hour left. We got a few more brand standings to do, although I do owe you a watch your mouth. I said that yesterday. I purposefully did not, in fact, say the secret word behoove. And by the way, I think we're going to have a new word for the next 100 or so episodes. So I'll get you, for those of you who are members here, by the way, thanks to new member Sebastian, by the way, for coming on. We appreciate you. And also Sean, I saw your super chat come in while Chris was here. Thank you, Sean, for that. I appreciate you. But we will chat amongst ourselves within the community space on YouTube for those who are members of the channel here. We'll figure out another secret word to use for the next 100 days and have some fun there. So, all right. We have another guest coming on pretty soon. I would say maybe in 3 to 4 minutes. She is in the green room right now, and I'm really excited to have her on. But I do want to play this game for you really quick. It's called Watch Your Mouth. I owe one for you. We're going to have some fun laughing at Pat because, as you can see here, I'm about to put something in my mouth that's going to make it look ridiculous, and I have to say something. And chat, I need your help because I need you to tell me what it is that I'm saying so that we can move on. So the way this game works is there's these cards and this thing that you put in the mouth to look kind of ridiculous. And I have a card here that I'm ready to share. And you just guess. Okay, guess what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, I'm already gonna cry. I could tell. Okay. So the phrase, this is rhyme time. That's the clue. So these things rhyme, FYI. So I did try this once before. So let's see what happens here. But I'm going to try and enunciate with this thing in my mouth. And I recommend this game at home. It's really fun with the kids especially. Paximus Maximus, thank you for all you do, Pat. Grateful for you and this amazing community. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Here we go. Oh, did I get the extra large one? Oh, God. Hi. Thank you for coming to episode 200 of the income stream. Oh, God. Okay, this is not... Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, Rhino Dog says, thank you and this community for... Rhino Dog says, thank you and this community for all the support and encouragement. I couldn't have started my podcast and website without you guys. Thanks for everyone. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. And hopefully you are getting better. I appreciate you for that. Okay. Now's the time to take a screenshot of it. Okay. Wrong time. Oh, God. I need, like, napkins or something. Okay. I need your help. In this leaf, the thief took the leaf. Oh, God. Okay. In this leaf, the thief took the thief. Oh my God. This one's hard. In this the leaf. Okay, you got that, I hope. In this the leaf, the thief took the thief. Anybody? No. No. In disbelief. Disbelief. Close, Janine. In yay! Gov Kid. Gov kid. In disbelief, the thief took the beef. And that was my punishment. So, okay, we're ready to go. Thank you all for helping me out and for entertaining that with me. I see's back in. Thank you so much for the wonderful gift for my family and this really cool sign for day 200. All right. So our next special guest here is very special to not only me, but I also know the entire quarantine that's here because she is, in fact, one of you. And she's coming on today to have some fun. We're going to have a little chat. So if you happen to be ready, if you can give me a thumbs up in the green room, I'd love to bring you on. Okay, here we go. Everybody, let's welcome Grandma Goody.
Hi, Flynn. I'm Grandma Goody, and I'm here to say, can you see my flannel graph?
We can see the end of it. If you move it the opposite direction. There we go. There we go.
One of the things Pat helps you with learning the technology, because some of it I don't know. I get confused. This morning, my keyboard stopped working. I had to figure out how to go over here, and the link that Jess sent me last night, I lost it. It appeared on my phone last night, but then I don't know where those things go to live. And so I couldn't find it. And so I had to wake up my son, and he was very groggy. Actually, but he, after he got done being exasperated with me, he helped me find it. And I typed it in 40 minutes early. So anyway.
There you go. Oh, it's all good. Grandma Goody, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us today. You've been in the chat for many of these days. You've come into the replay to help give a summary to people. We just love you. Thank you for coming on. And I just want to ask you a quick question. In the last couple hundred days since coming on to the income stream and getting value, not just from the episodes that we do, but also the community that's there, what's been your favorite part about being a part of the quarantine with everybody here?
Oh, well, it's learning so much and making so many friends. And like Pat, you taught me, start with a hook. So I got to start with my hook because I stayed up last night trying to think of what's my hook. And where am I, man? Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yes. Yay! 200 days. See, celebrate. 200 days. Anyway, I got a hook for you. Okay, Pat?
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Hook you. Okay, if you stay till the end, I'm going to show everybody a secret gift that's just for Pat Flynn. It's very special. It doesn't mean expensive, just means special. And so stick around. And at the very end, if Grandma Goody forgets, would you remind me? Because sometimes I tell the hook and then I forget to use it at the end. So anyway, it happens.
I love it. And we've reviewed your YouTube channel a couple times here and your website, and you've been making massive changes. Like, you are very, very quick to take action. And why don't you, for those people who don't know who Grandma Goody is, give us your pitch. What is your 60-second, 2-minute intro for who Grandma Goody is? Who is she for?
Okay. I'll tell you, Pat, and you help me with this one. Grandma Goody is here for you parents who are cooped up with your kiddos, and maybe you're feeling guilty because they're watching the garbage on the screen time. And so you can let them go to Grandma Goody, and she'll tell them a good story from the Holy Bible. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to know nothing. You don't have to have any knowledge or any kind of faith or anything. But the stories are good. And so I tell them those stories, and I help out the folks at the same time. And the stories are free, and they're ad-free, and I don't remember. But anyway, they're there. And my website now looks really good thanks to Pat Flynn and this whole team, because you all helped me. So, thank you.
Thank you, Grandma Goody. So
I have a story.
Oh, tell us the story, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. I get a little pushy in your old age. Get away with that, so I'm just living it up with that. But one thing I got to say is, I want to tell you the story for everybody. There might be somebody new here today, and one of the things Grandma Goody does in the chat is I always say hello to new names. So hello, Hello, new people. Come on back. We love you. And Pat will teach you so much, no matter how little you know or how much you know. So anyway, I want to tell you the story of our 200 days together, if I can stop messing with it, okay?
Okay.
Here it is. Okay, we started with the germ. Okay, can you see the germ?
Yep, I can see the germ.
I don't know how to do that Zoom thing yet. Okay, so we started with the germ. I'll do this first, okay?
Here, I'm gonna go full screen so we have more view. There we go.
Okay, here's a zoom for you. That's a zoom. That's what you call a zoom, and then that's what you call a pan. I'm trying to learn what he means by it, but for now, that's what I got. Okay. So we started out 200 days ago, except I started out 199 days ago, and we had this young man by the name of Pat Flynn. And he taught us to serve first. Does that look like Pat? Anyway, so there's Pat right there. And he taught us that you want to take your customers on a journey, okay? So you want to take them from wherever they are, and you want to take them on this journey to, where is it, folks? You know this, transformation. Okay, so that's where we started. And then we had many, many days and nights. Okay, and the germ was still here, but I want to get him far away from Pat. Okay, I'll put him down there. And then the days and nights passed, and we're on this journey with Pat. And he started looking a little different.
Oh my God.
Can you show him? Okay, and I'm going to send this to you, Pat, so your kids can play with Daddy while he's working. Okay, so anyway, if you look right there, that's our Pat. Look, doesn't it look just like him? Doesn't it look just? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Where do I go? Okay, there it is. There. Okay, so Pat's on this journey, and we're all following him. You got to use your imagination. Grandma Goody can't make that many little felt thingies. Okay, so then we're on this journey, and we got a jungle. Can you see that jungle there? That's a jungle. And luckily, Pat, he has a machete. Do you see that? No, it's nothing that'll hurt you. It's a metaphorical machete, so don't worry, okay? Because I call Pat in secret, I call him my machete man, because he just cuts through. See, there's Pat, and he's just cutting through all of that for us right there. And yeah, just a second. Grandma Goody's cheating. I got to look at my notes. Okay, got that.
You were the best.
Okay. So we got to chop through. What are we chopping through? We're chopping through our fears, and we're chopping through our lack of knowledge, not knowing which way to sit on the screen. And I learned from Just Samson how to take down a bear. I don't know if you see this. This is my trophy bear. I learned from Just Samson how to stay safe from bears. He was here a day before me. Anyway, we get to ask all kinds of things. We could ask it, and Pat doesn't never laugh at us, at least not while we're on the live stream. I don't know, he might laugh later. Okay, and then, okay, he's laughing. Oh,
sorry, no, I'm not. I'm laughing at the chat. Keep going.
Okay, that's good. I love you all in the chat. I'm sorry I stopped chatting. My keyboard broke and I didn't know how to fix it. So I had to go to a different computer. But anyway, next came wildfires. We had wildfires. And so Pat's now chopped through the jungle. Those jungles spring up all over the place, but you get that. Okay, so now we're sitting here. Oops, his beard fell off. Okay. So anyway, he's leading us through the fires. And also there's some people in here like Just Samson. He not only fights bears, he plays tag with sharks. And I'm just so proud of him for that. But then in our world, we started seeing some racial tension. Oops. We started seeing some racial tension. And people were out in the street fighting. And you know what we were doing here on the income stream? They was fighting. And we was uniting. and we just
Yes.
love each other, and we just help each other, and we just hang on to each other and give each other advice. So they're all fighting, we're uniting. And you know what else with that racial tension? While everybody's out fussing and fighting, and saying that white people and black people maybe couldn't get along with each other. Well, Grandma Goody did a video of a story from the Bible about racism, about why racism is wrong. And I went to my friend, Hey Archer, and my other friend, Rap in Combat, and I said, hey, yo, bro. And you know, Grandma Goody doesn't get to say yo, bro, that often in real life. But here it works. And so anyway, Hey Archer went over my video, and he helped me out because I had forgot to put the ending on that told the point about why racism was wrong. So thank you, Hey Archer. And then, so what we have here is friends from around the world. And we have Manos Man in Greece. We have Elton, who's my kiddo, who's in Malaysia, and Asima in Egypt, and Zena and Vladia, and Bernhard, everybody, people, every color, everywhere in the world. We all come together to help each other. And I just love that. And the best thing we found when we came, I got lots of good business advice. Don't get me wrong, Pat. You know how much I've improved because I've been trying to learn and do it. But the best thing we found, we didn't expect it, but we found, oops, here, keep your machete over there. Where's my?
We love you, Grandma Goody. This is
There
incredible.
you go. That's it. So we found love. And now, do you want to know the hook? The answer to the hook?
I do want to know the answer to the hook. The
Okay.
special
A
gift.
A gift. So Grandma Goody keeps pockets because she always has goodies to give out. And I got this gift for you. I'm gonna mail it to you, Pat.
Okay. Pink Starburst, yes.
Yes, there you go. Just for you. I'll send you all the colors. You can share them with the kiddos. So anyway, thank you for letting me ramble on. I'm sorry.
Dude, that was incredible. We're crying over here, and thank you for that. For those of you who don't understand the Pink Starburst reference, it's in relation to a video that was just popped up on the stream. Thanks, or on the feed. Thanks to Grandma Goody. Anyway.
And thank you, Pat Flynn. And if you're using the secret code, it's hashtag bruh. And it would be who to say that.
It would be who. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Can you turn that around again? And I'm going to take a screenshot of it with my name on it. And I'm just going to.
Oh, wait. Where am I? Wait, I'm on. There we go.
I want to see your face in it.
Okay.
Actually, let me go this way.
Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Grandma Goody.
And you want the other side?
Secret code, bruh. I got that one already.
Okay, very good. Good job.
Thank you, Grandma Goody.
You.
I appreciate you so much. We'll talk soon. We'll see you in the chat, okay?
Oh, last thing. Remember, Grandma Goody loves you, but God loves you more.
We love you too, Grandma Goody. Thank you. That was incredible. Oh my gosh, that was... I just wanted to talk about the last couple 100 days. She came up with this felt thing and all the things that she made us cry and laugh and just the... Oh, that was epic. Everybody, big shout out to Grandma Goody. Subscribe to her channel if you want to check her out. And she just plays this amazing character and just is trying to help. And she's right in the beginning of her journey. Has already grown tremendously within the past 6 months. And I cannot wait to see this is going to catch on. And it's, as you can tell, just something that we need this, right? We need these smiles. That was amazing. Destiny, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. Lisa as well. Sherry, thank you so much for the sticker. You are all amazing. This is a great... I honestly was just like, okay, here's the format of today's show. Here's the guest that we want to bring on. We went from incredible wisdom going deep with Roberto Blake, talking about who we are as individuals and how we could step into ourselves a little bit more. We went into Chris Ducker a little bit and talked about the idea of storytelling and how important that is, and how to tell stories, how to potentially even be entertaining. And we all have something that is worth sharing that can help others too. And then now to cap this off with Grandma Goody, just absolutely incredible. And now I'm going to get Pink Starburst, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So that was incredible. That was incredible. Thank you. Thank you all so much for a wonderful day. We still got 10 minutes left, so don't worry. We have one more thing to give away, which I'll give away in about 10 minutes. And it is the grand prize, which is for a spot on my show, Ask Pat. You come on the show, we'll connect later. Jess and I will figure that out. And also, I want to give we'll get you scheduled and all that stuff, and we'll have you come on the show. I can help you out live, not live, but recorded. We'll pop it out onto the stream for everybody, and we'll let you all know when that episode goes live. It'll be an early 2021 episode. So then you might come back later in the year too, but that'll be some good exposure for your brand, and I'll be able to help you out at the same time. And that was that was incredible. Whew! That was amazing. You guys want to play some games before we wrap up? We have a couple more that I have here. I have this one especially for us. So let's play another round of brand standing. I have a coffee shop for the quarantine. What would you call a coffee shop for the quarantine? If you don't know what the quarantine is, that's you. That's all of you. So what would you name if we were able to collectively build a coffee shop together, which how incredible would that be? Just to know that we have like a shop that's just for us. And all of you get free coffee for life, by the way. What would you call it? What would you call our coffee shop together? I might just call it Cool People Only, because you guys are all cool. But what would you call our coffee shop? All right, I'm going to scroll down so I can get ready to showcase some of these. Hey, Archer in the house as well. Hey, Archer, thanks for coming on. Cora Beans. Nice, I like that. Let's see. Cora Beans says Steve. Wonderful. That's a nice name. I like that. Virtual Coffee. Hidden Bean. Hidden Bean says Gift Biz. I wouldn't want my business to be hidden, though, right? Any money that we make from others coming in to get our coffee, we can support our charities with. We can spotlight some of the members and help them out. Maybe hire like a WordPress developer that we could all end up using together. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Coffee Shop says Phone Savers. I like it. Inspiring Vibes. There you go, Destiny. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. Sip and Slack Coffee. Cora Bean World Coffee Solo Cafe. Cora Beans Corona Coffee. That just makes me think of pouring Corona into coffee. I don't know if that would taste good or not. Coffee on Distance. Cool Beans. There you go, Steve. I like that. Brew Storms and Brainstorms. There you go. I like that one. Save Like a Bear. Good one. Brubucks Coffee. Of course. Of course. Pat's Baristas. Streaming Quarantine. Bruh Sips. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Bruh. I'm so happy, y'all. I'm absolutely just on fire right now. Just I'm gonna close this stream in about 7 minutes, and I'm gonna be on a high the rest of the day. Thank you all for staying up with me, if in fact it's later where you're at, or waking up early for me, or spending time. I know that you have families, you have church today, you have so many other things going on. I'm just so thankful for all of you. Big shout out and thanks again to Roberto Blake and Chris Ducker and Grandma Goody for coming on and making us all smile, making us all think. That was so incredible. Okay, let's do another one. What would you name an online course for Stormtroopers? An online course for Stormtroopers. What would be the name of your course? What would you be teaching them? I mean, probably how to aim. The course would just be called Aim Better, right? A 4-week, all hands intensive to learn how to not miss and keep your Stormtrooper position. Thank you, Pat. This has been amazing. 200 days an episode. Thank you, Kirsten. I appreciate you. Dogs are best friends. You're too wonderful, and we so appreciate all that you give us every day. It's a sacrifice, and we know it, but love seeing you every day. Yes, and if you could give a shout out and big thanks to my wife, April. She's been obviously an incredible component to this, having the ability to just have some space every morning to come in here and serve you. It's very much her show as it is mine, as much as it's mine. Learn how to aim, says Mano. So again, we're talking about an online course for Stormtroopers. What would you call an online course for Stormtroopers? Super Trooper Blueprint, SPI Pro Troopers, how to hit your target. I love it, Peasant, just kind of going right to the benefit there. How to miss every shot. That's, in fact, if you want to be a Stormtrooper, right? That makes sense, Sean. How to actually hit your target, hit the target. Learn how to shoot. Space course, miss every shot you take. Learn trooping, learn as you go. The aim you're looking for. Ooh. Yes. Hey, Archer. Not surprised you came up with something like that. I love that a lot. Blast your way to success. I like it. Storm course, the Super Trooper Mastery. Thank you, Mai. I'm so appreciative of you too. Thank you for the wonderful gift. Galactic transformations. Ooh, I like the galactic transformation. That rolls off the tongue really nice. Don't miss this course. I like that one too. That's kind of like the switch pod, because the switch pod, we want you to switch from the other thing. How to fit in, says Cooking with Kibby. Aim, shoot. Yes. Hey, don't forget the aim part when you're shooting. Always aim academy. I like the alliteration there. Off target trooper, good alliteration. On target, pew pew got you 101. Pew pew got you. This is not the course you're looking for, says Scott. Dude, you guys are so good. Imperial aiming. On target, storming the rebels. Universal trooping. Elton says, just in case if I don't get to talk to others, I do hang out with all of you, and thanks Pat Flynn and family for this income stream. Thank you, Elton. We appreciate you. 1, 2, 3, pew, pew, pew. Thank you, April. Thank you, April. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for all the thanks for April, by the way. Oh, man. I can't believe we're already at the end of episode 200. What are we going to do on 300? 100 was epic. 200, even more epic. What is 300? What is 365 going to be? Do y'all think I should shave my beard on day 365? I don't know if I should have said that, but maybe not, because I kind of like it right now. I don't know. We'll see, but maybe that's the big lead up. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. But it would behoove you to watch every single episode between now and then. And again, I'm so incredibly thankful for all of your support, all of the communication, all of the just being here and supporting each other. Gosh, I really have to go to the bathroom. I should have gone when Grandma Goody was going, but I didn't want to miss anything. I think it wouldn't have been good if I missed that. So 3 hours for 300. You got it, Stephanie. We're going to go for 3 hours on 300. I like it. Okay. Beard forever. No. Okay. I hear you. I see you. Shave your head for 365. Whoa. Hey, Archer. I mean, young Pat on number 300. That will work with the felt figure. Yes, I just remove it. I don't think I'm going to remove the beard for a milestone like that. I'll remove it for something else. But maybe I shouldn't cut my beard until then. Sydney in the house. Yo, welcome, Sydney. An amazing YouTuber. Probably some of the best cinematography instruction that you could ever get. And a good friend of mine. He is a supporter of the Switch Pod. He and I connected together. Fellow Filipino. Just an amazing person. Definitely follow him. Check him out. Can't believe we are at the end of episode 200 here. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that like button too if you haven't. We are at 160, which is a lot. We haven't had that number for a while. But I'm incredibly thankful for you. Just so stoked that we were able to have an incredible show and to have you show up today. I appreciate you so much. And go the full ducker, says Kibby. Go the full ducker. So shave the head and the beard. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. Thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. Even those of you in the back, you're amazing. We also got that incredible video from Dawn. We did it, y'all. We did it. Oh, we have to give away a prize. we have to give away a prize. So I'm going to scroll up and down the chat here. I'm going to scroll up and down. And wherever my cursor lands, that's who will win the chance to get on Ask Pat. I'm going to scroll down. Wherever my cursor ends, I'm going up and down. And we landed on Yo. Yes. GTO, baby. GTO helps. Well, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Send an email to pat@patflynn.com. GTO, we will get you on Ask Pat at some point in early 2021. We'll hook you up with some exposure for your brand. We'll help you out along the way, and you'll help out a lot of other people too. Congratulations, and keep up the great work, everybody. This has been incredible. Thank you so much for today. I'm going to go have some breakfast with the family. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to clean up and sterilize my mouth guard. And just well done, everybody. We did it. We did it. Episode 200. Whew. I don't want to end. I don't want it to end. But hey, 201 tomorrow. It's Monday. We're gonna have a new topic. I think in fact we're gonna talk about storytelling a little bit more. I think what Chris talked about cannot be talked about enough. We're gonna tell some stories tomorrow. We're gonna talk about storytelling. We're gonna help create a framework for you, and that's what I want to do tomorrow. So come back tomorrow if you can, and we'll probably start at the 8:30 mark. Just trying to, 8:30 a.m. So you'll see it patflynn.com/the income stream, and we'll go from there. Woo! All right, everybody. Take care. Thanks so much. I appreciate you so much. We did it. I'm stalling because I don't want to leave, but it's been an amazing 200 days. Thank you all so much for everything. Seriously. 8:30 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. All right? So take care, everybody. Peace out. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. I laughed. I cried. I smiled. Thank you.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Bruh. Thank you for today, everybody. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful way to start. And here we are. We're going to get to 300. I'll see you around. We're going to make it happen. Peace out, y'all. Much love. I love you. Bye.